Welcome everybody to the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series. It is Season 2, 2024 here on the iRacing service. An open setup Mazda Series for 30 minutes here, and we are at Silverstone. Qualifying currently underway with about 6 minutes remaining. Drivers putting in their lap times for the moment. Welcome everyone to the Racing Line Network, formerly known as the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, because who doesn't love a little bit of redundancy every once in a while? I'm Gary Weaver, the one man bringing you both the commentary and the graphics and everything in between. So it is going to be one heck of a season. This is week 1 of 12. We have 12 weeks of this. Sadly, no schedule graphic, at least as of this week. Next week, more than likely, we will have one. I like how I say we, despite the fact that's only me. But welcome regardless. I hope everyone is doing well today. About 5 minutes, 20 seconds left in qualifying. So just before we take a look at these drivers doing their lap times, let's take a look at the track map here and see what these drivers will be racing around here at Silverstone. It is the international layout, not to be confused with the national layout. Taking bypassing most of the Grand Prix grid, starting in the same place, going through Abbey and Farm Curve. This driver's really going to be dabbing the brakes a little bit through here, then bypassing the GP circuit entirely through turn 4, through turn 5 at Chapel, down the Hanger Straight, more than likely passing opportunities there. Through Stowe, the drivers will go through past Vale, past the pit entry as well, down into the chicane of turns 7 and 8, and then the club turn past the BRDC clubhouse. 1.85 mile track here at the Silverstone International Circuit. That will be a lot longer next week when it comes to Bathurst, because A, it's Bathurst, and B, it gives us a little bit more time to go through the track map at the same time. So let's see, about 4 minutes left. Let's see if we can find a couple drivers here making their rounds. A 19-car grid here for not only this split, but the second split that was also put up. So 2 splits here, about pretty average, I believe, actually, for most of these time splits here for the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series. Taking a look right now, this is Manuel Novoa in the number 8 machine. Very vibrant. I don't know if that would be an off track, quite honestly, but we'll see if the lap time does decide to count. 19 cars, so the starting grid should be pretty easy to go through pretty quickly if we do have a graphic. I was about to say, I hope we did. Just overlooked it a little bit. But Novoa won't be overlooking his lap time once he goes past the start-finish line, just stays within track limits. That's probably going to be a word we're hearing a lot. And sadly, no time for Novoa. Might have gotten an off track, so at this point, just getting some practice in. Pedro Gomez, I believe the last name is Gastelu, crosses the start-finish line. Nothing yet. Let's ride on board and see what the lap around here is like. From the second gear, the tires are going to be going through their paces throughout the next half hour. No doubt. You're going to be hearing this quite a lot on the onboards. Second gear throughout that entire section as well, so that's going to be something to also keep an eye on. And again, open setups, so these drivers are able to change whatever they want for their setup, as long as it's within the limits that iRacing allows. Practically drifting through Stowe. In fact, Gastelu's last lap time got him up to P12. to see if he does improve. He's about 0.059 seconds off of the car in front, which is Jacobo Paz. Looks like he decides to end his run early. So Michael Ulrich is going to be the last driver to set a lap time here. Manuel Novoa has not set a lap time. We saw him, I believe, more than likely got a few off tracks every once in a while. Off tracks every once in a while? That's a sentence. A few off tracks throughout his various laps. Not sure how many, but enough to invalidate his lap time. Once Ulrich crosses the start-finish line, we might get to see. In fact, if Ulrich does decide to go through and do another lap, he does have the time. Previous lap time not showing up just yet on timing. So that previous lap might have been invalidated. So he does have one more chance to set a lap time. The lap times here are about an average, about a minute 15, give or take. First place has a 1 minute 14.451. That is Dave Chapman. And Ulrich slides off the track, and that's not going to be the way to end qualifying, but well, that's how it is sometimes here at Silverstone. It's a very, very tricky circuit, apparently, so we get to go through our starting grid, provided that does go through. There we go. Starting in first place is going to be Dave Chapman. Second place is going to be Ian Joyner. Third place is going to be Yilin Chang. Sam Benson will start off on the second row in fourth place. Fifth place is going to be Javier Soto. Adam Robinson will start off in P6. P7 is going to be James Kalinowski. And top 8 is going to be Jordi Sevilla Lafarga. That is a tongue twister and a half right there, I swear. There will be mispronunciations, and if there are, I apologize in advance. It's bound to happen at some point. Felipe St. Louis will start off in 9th place, running at the top 10 as our graphic gets reset. Oh, we can just go roll right back through the starting grid. No pressure. It's going to be Francisco Ramos de la Fe. Jacobo Paz will start off in 11th. Pedro Gomez Gaztelu will start off in 12th. 13th, Turner Johnson. 14th is David Gonzalez Palacios. Luis Fernando Miranda will start off in 15th. 16th is Fonta Garcia. 17th is Tommy Laporte. And then 18th is Michael Ulrich, who did not set lap time. And same goes for Manuel Novoa. The starting grid getting formed up right now. You'll have the start lights already at the top of your screen. The drivers will be also looking up to the top of the timing gantry. Once those lights go red, it is about to be a mad dash for turn 1 through Abbey. Just a few more cars left to grid, about 4 cars left, 4th and 5th, and then 14th and 18th. Drivers more than likely making some final adjustments to their setups if need be. And then it'll be the run down towards Abbey. 3 drivers left to hit the starting grid. This is going to be wild. An estimated right now 25 laps. And I say estimate because this is a timed race. 30 minutes, no more, no less. For the most part, depending on where the drivers are. But there is no timed plus 1 lap. It's just the timed, and that is it. And the drivers rev their engines. The lights are ready at the top of the timing gantry. Lights go red. And we go green flag racing here. It is going to be a dash towards Abbey as the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series is underway here at Silverstone. Everyone files through, for the most part, through turn 5, or throughout P5. It's going to be a side-by-side battle potentially for 3rd place. In fact, it could be a battle for 2nd place, even for the lead here, as Dave Chapman will retain the lead through turn number 3, through turn 4 they go, down into Chapel they go. Now down the long straightaway, a few drivers side by side in the middle of the pack slide through the back of the field. That is the number 16, and a few more drivers are collected. That is absolutely unfortunate. We'll see if we can get a replay here momentarily. As we heard the call out over the radio, and we probably shouldn't have, we will take care of that momentarily. But throughout this grid, about the turn's top 6 drivers have made their way through. It's going to be a three-car battle for 4th place down into the chicane. This is only lap number 1, by the way. 28 minutes left. We'll get the timing tower momentarily, as we will get the replay first. And it looks like somehow, some way, everybody made it through. So let's run the time back quite a bit here to the number 16 machine of Jordi Lafarga. Let's see what happened here. Just took too much curb, and the traction just did not help whatsoever. The 10 made contact, and then the 7, and somebody else, a few drivers as well. It might have been the 19 it was who made contact. So multiple drivers making contact. We will cut back to the starting. Actually, we will do this just for the moment. We will go back live, as we're going to be adjusting a couple sound settings, which should not have gone through, but for some strange reason they had decided to. So with that fixed and the field running through right now, we are back live, back running without any issues. Dave Chapman continues to lead here at Silverstone in the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series. Again, the 19-car grid at the most throughout this split and the second split. The top 6 have managed to break away. Now it's all just a matter of seeing who can go where. What will happen in the meantime? There will be battles throughout all the track, and we will do our best to catch all the battles, but that will not always be the case. Again, we will do our best to catch all the battles, and especially this battle for P3, which is now delved down to a battle for P5. And in fact, it might bring in James Kalinowski in P7 as they make their way down the Hanger Straight once again. Elin Cheng gets passed on the right-hand side by Javier Soto for position number 5. A little bit of battle farther back, past for position. In fact, the battle for P9 right here between Francisco Ramos de la Fe and Jacobo Paz. They go side by side through Vale. We've seen a lot of battles, very iconic battles, especially through here, as Paz gets by just in time for the chicane. They'll have the run down and set his sights on Pedro Gomez Gaztelu. Unlikely to be using their middle names as well, just so it's a little bit easier. Looking right here, though, this brewing battle for P6. Kalinowski was all over the back bumper of Chang, but backed off on the entry to turn number 1. Looks like, for the time being, everything has sorted itself out, so we can finally, for a little bit, we can breathe. Riding on board Adam Robinson on the in-car. Let's take a look at the speed down at the bottom of your screen as well, and see what the speeds that these drivers are reaching down the end of Hanger Straight. 114, 15, 120 miles an hour, 121 miles per hour, about 195 kilometers per hour, I believe is what the number was, as we rode on board with that pass for Robinson, move that number 2 up to P3. Everyone has started to spread out. Let's take a look at the battle roughly around P10, as these drivers are just about to make their way into Abbey. In fact, it's more of a battle for P7, P8 actually. This little 4-car group: Pedro Gomez Gaztelu, Jacobo Paz, Francisco Ramos, and Turner Johnson. James Kalinowski all on his lonesome for the time being. A lot of passing opportunities again here down the Hanger Straight, but the draft in these MX-5 cars aren't necessarily weak, but they're not too strong at the same time. You have to really set up your runs and hope that you have a little bit of help. Wouldn't be surprised if we see at some point maybe a little bit of bump drafting. Luis Fernando Miranda and Fonte Garcia have decided to take the car behind the wall about 3 laps ago due to the wreck on lap 1. They tried to keep going for a couple laps, but decided to retire early, and that's honestly quite unfortunate. Not too many casualties, though, at least as of now, but even still, it's a shame that their run was pretty much ended on not even halfway through lap 1. Let's take a look back at the battle for P8 as Gastelu, or Gats, I'll pronounce it correctly one of these days. Gastelu is going to be working incredibly hard to defend from Jacobo Paz. I believe these two might be teammates. Either that or they have, very coincidentally, the exact same livery with the exact same colors over on the iRacing service. No trading paint schemes for reasons of the fact that it would be quite a bit to verify all of them. It's not good. It's going to be quite a bit to verify if Jacobo Paz will make his way by Gastelu, and he does, and Gastelu might fall back just a couple positions, closes the door on the nose of Turner Johnson, move Paz up to P8 for the moment. So you might be working together more because it is possible, in some resemblance at least, to have a little bit of slingshot passing, carry that momentum, and help you at the end of the day, but it's not going to help them catch up to the rest of the field as Gastelu takes a very, very defensive line. Defends from Francisco Ramos. Turner Johnson sits directly behind, dives to the right-hand side on the outside of turn number 3. Can Johnson get the pass done for P10? No, not quite. That doesn't mean that the opportunity is over just yet. Johnson looked like he was going to go for it, but decided against it. Very smart move as Felipe St. Louis goes up to P13, getting by Tommy Laporte through Stowe. Tommy Laporte, though, says, well, you know what? I will do you one better and pass you back on the outside of the chicane, especially in the first entry. I think a little bit of a bobble under braking by St. Louis. These two will go side by side through club on corner exit. Towards the start-finish line they go, and contact is made. They both spin on the front straightaway. Felipe St. Louis into the wall. Tommy Laporte had drifted wide. Through goes Jordi Silvia Lafarga, as well as Daniel Gonzalez Palacios. St. Louis still sitting on the front stretch, trying to refire the car, gets going, gets around, and we saw that while it happened, the understeer has struck. So not only a little bit of issues with the rear end of the car for some drivers for pushing just a little bit too hard, but understeer in these instances as well. We will take a look at what had occurred there off the final corner. Oh, was it the hit to the curb that did it? Go back with one more replay from the high up angle, taking a look over the circuit. Well, it does get cut off just a little bit, but from that angle, it's definitely just a racing deal. But correcting what I said, not fully on Tommy Laporte. Looks like the 13, St. Louis tried to squeeze just a little bit, took too much, and then they just both converged on the same line. That's my vert, at least, but there's a reason I'm in the booth and not in the steward's room. Great avoidance. Well, we'll take one more look at the avoidance of Lafarga here. Let's listen to the audio as well, the engine. Oh, didn't even lift. He didn't even lift, despite the fact that Laporte was trying to get spun around. That takes guts. I have to admire that, to be honest. Now, both of those drivers are still running. We are back live here with the battle, well, brewing battle at least, for P1. Dave Chapman still leads the way around Silverstone, the international layout here, with the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series here on the iRacing service, the actual top split of the 1915 GMT split, and somehow, unless scheduling says otherwise, for real life, it will be bringing you the entire Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series as well. Quick shout out, I should have prepared this beforehand, but shout out to the community managers, I believe both Roy and Alex. It's either Roy or Ray, I'm double checking right now. A little bit embarrassing, but it's Ray and Alex of the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series for allowing me to, I should say entrusting me to broadcast this. We still have 15 minutes to go, or just a little bit over 15 minutes to go. This race isn't over quite yet, and we still have a lot of action. So far, 2 incidents, and Adam Robinson is just all over the gearbox of Ian Joyner, all over the back bumper. Let's ride on board for a lap or so and see what he sees, for the most part. I'm quite surprised that he had maxed out the gear, decided not to shift to fourth. We can barely see the fourth gear, the gear indicator there on the virtual, or the digital dashboard. But man, oh man, what a run this has been so far. There's a pass in the back between, I believe, Francisco Ramos de la Fe and Turner Johnson. These guys are still battling here at the end of the top 10. Everyone's in their own little group here. So we have first through third in their own little group. Sam Benson in his own little bubble. Javier Soto as well, taking a very, very wide line. Same with Yilin Cheng in P6. James Kolonowski in P7. And then we have P8 through, what was that, P12, I believe. Nah, P11. Nope, that was right, P12. Yep, that's P8 through P12. As they will go side by side, actually, down the hangar straight. That is Jacob Paz, trying to do his best to defend against Turner Johnson. Johnson not letting up, sliding through Stowe. A little bit of a defensive line crossover, nearly 3 wide. Paz is going to go onto the outside as Turner Johnson tries to send it through the inside. Unable to make that stick for now, but there are a lot of passing attempts into that section. I mean, to be fair, there's passing attempts everywhere here at this track. Just why I could go down into turn 1 just ahead of them. Francisco Ramos and Pedro Gonzalez will swap positions. Move that number 10 to the 8th place position on that timing tower. Believe it or not, I believe the gap was actually lengthened between first and second. That looks wider, so I believe Joyner may have had a couple, maybe slid just a little bit, but he's still sticking with Dave Chapman down the hangar straight. The slipstream helping just a little bit. It's minimal, but it does exist. It is possible to slipstream in these cars. Impressive thing as well, just like real life, these cars are, well, at least in real life, which these cars are laser scanned from, these cars are taken directly from the Mazda factories, stripped down, have the race engine slapped into it, and then they're sent back out again. Well, and a roll cage and some safety stuff, of course, and then they're sent back out again onto the racetracks, which is just absolutely impressive. So these are as stock can be. In fact, I believe I might be incorrect about the engine portion. But regardless, these cars are, while these cars are, for lack of a better word, small, they pack a lot of punch, and they are an absolute blast to watch. These drivers just basically fling around here on these massive racetracks. Again, next week we go to Mount Panorama, Bathurst. Mazda cars at Bathurst next week. Oh dear. Knockhill reverse at some point, I believe, too. That's going to be, that is a layout I have not seen in use before. And that's going to be absolutely impressive. I believe week 3 as well is going to be the shortened version of the Zandvoort track as well. So seeing these cars go through the massive banked final turn as well as the, I believe, turn 3 is going to be just absolutely wild. So stay tuned in a few weeks' time, because this is only going to get just more and more entertaining as we go throughout the season. Well, let's take a little bit of a rundown while we still can throughout the entire field. Dave Chapman has not exactly left his post at first place, and the number 1 is quite evident of that. He started first. He's currently running in first place, and it has been very, very, I wouldn't say calm so far. I mean, he is in the lead, and he has Ian Joyner breathing down his gearbox, essentially, just staying right in the mirrors, just making sure that Chapman knows that Joyner is there regardless. And then we have Adam Robinson, starts 6th, currently running in the 3rd place position. Absolutely great job by Robinson to capitalize with everything happening so far, especially with the opening starts. To a few positions swapping for P9. We'll get to that momentarily. As we see Sam Benson still 4th place, Javier Soto still 5th place. Expect that to switch at some point throughout the rest of this race. Yilin Cheng started in 3rd place, fell back to 6th, so probably need to talk to Robinson there and work on a little bit of communication, a little bit of a barter maybe. Say, hey, you know what, how about we just swap positions? It looks better on paper. James Kalinowski started 7th, currently still running in 7th. A really good livery there. Great contrast to Cheng's livery. So I believe there might be no, not an incident. I was about to say there might be an incident, but we are working our way backwards. Francisco Romos now in the world of his own with 4 cars looming in his mirrors. He started 10th. He's currently running 8th. Pedro Gomez started 12th, currently runs 9th. Jacobo Paz started 11th, currently running 10th. Well, that's bound to change at some point as well. Manuel Navoa, in my opinion, the driver of the day, just simply by positions gained, and that could still improve. Started last, was unable to set a couple qualifying laps, and he's currently sitting in 11th. And Turner Johnson started 13th, currently running in 12th place position. David Gonzalez still running, 1 position up from where he started. He currently runs 13th. And Jordi Lafarga, I'll just go with Lafarga, currently running in the 14th place position after a little bit of contact with Tommy Laporte a little bit earlier. Laporte still running in a positive from where he started at least. Started 17th, currently runs 15th. Felipe St. Louis and Tommy Laporte that had a little bit of contact. I'm not sure where I got that from for Jordi. Might be the similar-ish liveries. And Michael Yorick not having the best day, but props for him to continue running regardless of the bad luck. Very, very adamant that, you know, I mean, these drivers could just run the next split, to be fair. And sometimes you have bad luck on this split, but you know what? Sometimes it's worth just getting the laps in, making sure that your setup still works for the next race that you run it. These drivers can run as many splits as they want. Just that this one in particular is the one that's being broadcast. But hopefully everyone enjoys. We have under 10 minutes to go, and in fact under 9 minutes to go once we hit the start-finish line as the sun continues to rise here at Silverstone. It is in-sim hours, I believe, at this point. Early 6 a.m., 7 a.m., just about. A little bit of cloud cover. The top three all under a blanket still within about 5/10 of each other. The gap has closed. The question is, when do they strike? Hopefully not the curbs in Joyner's case. Definitely struck the curb there. Does Robinson peek out? No, Joyner thinks about it. They're all thinking about it. They're all very tentative, but they decide to wait as we see a pass in the back, almost a very defensive line from Yilin Cheng, defending from James Kalinowski. In fact, they might be bump drafting into Abbey. Cheng goes wide, tries to defend from Kalinowski side by side for 6th place as they make contact at the exit of turn number 2, down into turn number 3. Crossover from Cheng gets denied by Kalinowski. Remember what I said about the contrasting colors? That might have something to do with this. Cheng is going to be all over the gearbox. Kalinowski defends hard on the hanger straight, letting the entire left side lane open. They nearly make contact again, and in fact they do. Be careful, guys. They both have positions at stake here. It's not worth trading a little bit of paint. A little bit of contact, maybe. No, luckily at the exit of the Stowe, they don't make contact. Cheng will look to make a move here into the chicane, decides to stay in line with Kalinowski. This is battle for 6th, by the way. Absolutely incredible. Despite all the contact and the defensive driving, they still continue to battle. Down the front straightaway they go. Half a car width down into Abbey. Move Cheng back up to P6. Jacobo Paz and Manuel Novoa side by side into Abbey. Novoa with the nose. Could actually strike here going down into turn 3 if Novoa does decide to outbrake Paz. Can't get it done there. Paz hits the curb. Still just manages to stay ahead through turn 4, through Chapel, as they have a pass for the lead. Ian Joyner at the end of the hanger straight. Got by Dave Chapman. They had decided now is the time to go. Robinson going to be following, seeing if he can outbrake here on the outside lane of the first portion of the chicane. Unable to do so for now, so Robinson will recollect himself and try again the next lap. Dave Chapman now, the first time I believe of this race, down to 2nd place. First time in general out of the lead, more accurately. Again, battles have happening everywhere. We will do our best to cover them as the laps wind down, as the time ticks down as well. And look at the braking power from Robinson, getting right to the gearbox. I thought he was going to go for the gap there. He held off and decided against it. I love the fact as well from that camera angle we can see pretty much everyone braking at nearly the exact same point on the racetrack. The question is, do any of them decide to go for the move here down into Stowe if they're able to? Oh, Chapman looked at it. Wasn't able to find an opening there, but Chapman is going to go and find the opening on the left-hand side. Joyner stays on the racing line. Here comes Robinson. There goes Chapman for the lead again into the chicane. But Joyner, with the preferred lane at the second portion through turn number 8, is able to keep that lead, at least for the moment. Robinson as well, lurking not lurking, just basically, he might as well just be directly in the mirrors, and he definitely is. Chapman no longer in the mirrors of Joyner as they go side by side into Abbey. They make a little bit of contact as they both drift wide. Robinson will capitalize and go down the left-hand side of Chapman. Does he go into 2nd place? Yes, he does. Not quite, actually. Chapman is still there on the right-hand side. Robinson will try and defend. Now Chapman falls back into line, falling back to 3rd. This will bring in Javier Soto and Sam Benson into this battle. Jacobo Paz and Manuel Novoa still battling for that 10th place position. Novoa trying to get a top 10 spot as they barely made contact going through Chapel and onto the hanger straight. Ian Joyner has broken away. But the pass will happen down into Stowe. Under 4 minutes left, an estimated 2 laps to go, I believe, at the start-finish line. 2 or 3. We'll see momentarily. In due time, Novoa has gotten by Paz at the end of the hanger straight, but Paz is going to have something to say about this. Down into the chicanes they go. Turner Johnson looking if anything does happen. Let's ride on board and see what he sees with this battle in front of him. In fact, that battle just ends into the final chicane, so Novoa up to P10 after starting in 19th. What a great run, but there's still 3 minutes, 20 seconds left, and anything can happen in due time. Just ask Dave Chapman, who is just sitting, clawing at the bit, essentially. We'll see if we can get by Robinson here. Down the hanger straight they go. No moves as of yet. Not quite close enough. The top 3 have all swapped around. It could bring in 4th and 5th place. Again, Javier Soto and Sam Benson. So at the start-finish line, 2 minutes, 26 seconds remain. No doubt 2 laps to go because, well, a lap here, well, the last lap was a 1 minute 14.883. So 2 laps in that case is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we are just barely under 2 laps to go. Chapman is, I was going to say, Chapman's fallen well off the pace. No, he hasn't. He's just so close behind Robinson that I didn't see him for a second. You have to look through the car of Robinson as we take a look back at what Joyner roughly sees in his mirrors. Trying to shake the slipstream as well. This is allowed. You're allowed to shake the slipstream. It is more than okay to do so. Down into Stowe. Do they get the white flag this time by? It'll be quite close. So we'll keep an eye on the timing tower and the light around the timing bubble. And yes, this will be the final lap here at Silverstone. Just barely, but it will be the final lap around Silverstone. This time by Ian Joyner. Has to defend from Adam Robinson and Dave Chapman. Potentially even Javier Soto or Sam Benson. They could also get podium positions if anything were to happen between all of these 3. 3 wide almost into turn number 3. Chapman will try to pass Robinson on the left-hand side in turn 3, but that does not happen. Last chance here down the hanger straight. Javier Soto is right there. If anything does happen, does Chapman decide to go for at least 2nd place? Ian Joyner defending as much as possible by trying to break the slipstream. Robinson is under fire from Chapman. Up on the outside he goes. They are 3 wide into Stowe for the lead on the final lap. Joyner comes out in front somehow, some way, but it's not over yet. They still have to go through the chicane. Down into the final 3 corners. They're side by side for 3rd. Joyner makes it through the chicane. Adam Robinson will come home in 2nd. They're side by side again, still for 3rd. Ian Joyner wins the Advanced Mazda MX-5 Cup Series here at Silverstone. Wow. I knew it was going to be waiting up until the last second, but I didn't think quite literally. Manuel Nova is going to be trying to go to the top 10, but Paz has different ideas. Here comes Turner Johnson, 3 wide through club, turn number 9. They're crashing across the start-finish line. And in 10th place is somehow Jacobo Paz, Turner Johnson's 11th. Manuel Novoa crashes in 13th. Such a good run regardless, though. as the drivers are still wrapping up their races. Wow. I have absolutely zero words. Michael York will come across in 17th. Props to him for finishing. Manuel Navoa, no doubt, absolute heartbreak at putting in all the effort, sticking it out, only to crash right at the end. I absolutely cannot believe it. Again, I say, wow. I figured there was going to be a bunch of passes right at the end of the race, but I didn't think it would all happen in basically one corner. What happened there? That was absolutely incredible. We'll get your finishing results here up momentarily. Again, I say, wow. Let's take a moment to breathe for a second. Let's all inhale. Just take an inhale for a second. Just inhale and exhale. Okay. Are we calm yet? I think we're calm. I'm not sure. That was absolutely incredible by everybody there. Somehow, some way. It's a shame for Manuel Navoa, but we'll go through everything here with your finishing results. Ian Joyner stuck it out and wins, dethroning Dave Chapman's dominant race, finishing a whole second behind exactly, at least in terms of the 3 decimal places, but we'll get to that. Ian Joyner, Adam Robinson, Javier Soto sniped 3rd place away from Dave Chapman. Sam Benson was right there with that battle too. We'll take a look at everything. We'll take a look at all of the battles momentarily after we take a look at the results. James Kalinowski had an impressive run. Yilin Cheng had fallen down the order throughout that event after we had taken a look at their battle, so we might take a look and see what happened there. Francisco Ramos de la Fe finishes in 7th. Pedro Gomez Gaztelu finishes in 8th. Yilin Cheng finishes in 9th place. And Jacobo Paz finishes 10th in the most incredible battle I have seen for a 10th place position to ever exist. Turner Johnson finishes in 11th. 12th place is Manuel Navoa. David Gonzalez Palacios finishes 13th. Jordi Sevilla Lafarga finishes in 14th. 15th place is Tommy Laporte. Felipe St. Louis finished 16th. And Michael Urich, the last of the drivers that ran, finished in P17. Those last two should be swapped, but considering the weird timing that they had, I can see why it was a little bit off. But 18th and 19th DNF was Luis Fernando Miranda and Fonta Garcia. Well, I think we have time to take a look at those battles coming through. I, again, have absolutely zero words for that. We'll get everything up and running for replays here in just a second. But, again, I say, wow. That's the word of the day, I guess, in this instance. So we'll try and rewind quite a lot here. We're gonna be here a while, I think. That's a cooldown lap of Ian Joyner, I believe. In fact, we might cheat this just a little bit, so we will bring this up. That's not the right transition, but it's a transition nonetheless. Bear with us momentarily as we try and get the replays of the, I guess for lack of a better word, chaotic last lap. I believe that would count, though, at this time. It was absolutely incredible with all the battles that that occurred here. We're going to be breaking all of them down here. And we'll start with riding on board Dave Chapman. So the first of the replays, Dave Chapman. In fact, we'll take a look from the blimp. Look at this, 3 wide into Stowe, just barely. Joyner with a preferred lane. And with that opening, that allows Javier Soto, because the defensive line Chapman took, that allows Javier Soto to sneak around the outside. Same with Robinson. Kind of got boxed in, did Chapman. But it's that exit right there that helped out Javier Soto snipe away 3rd place and nearly, look at how close Sam Benson was. And then we cut back to right here, the battle for P10. Oh, man, just unfortunate. I think maybe we'll see. We'll see. Turner Johnson, though, making his way through as well, trying to stick his nose up through the middle, 3 wide. He's there, and they're all making contact. Wow. We'll take a look on board. Turner Johnson. I see the move from Manuel Navoa going into Stowe. Makes a lot of contact actually. Pushes Paz a little bit wide. And Paz, I believe, may have made a little bit of contact. It wouldn't surprise me if he did make contact. In fact, let's rewind. Go back to the blimp. That's just be a go-to camera angle, but we'll see. Gets shoved wide. Paz does make a little bit of contact going into the braking zone, but what happened there? Was there just something? Did something happen with? Was there suspension damage potentially for Navoa? Is that why he drifted? That is my theory. Wow. Regardless, that was absolutely an absolutely impressive run by everybody throughout. And I cannot suggest this series enough. Congratulations to the winner of this split, being Ian Joyner. Thanks again to Ray and Alex of the Mazda MX-5 community. Apparently, they are heads of the Mazda MX-5 community. I believe at least for the Advanced Series. Not sure if that goes for Mazda in general. Might just be the Advanced Series. But thanks to them regardless. Thanks to the community. Hopefully everyone enjoyed, and hopefully we will all enjoy Bathurst together for the second week of the season. I still can't get over that. That is definitely going to be one heck of a week going into next week. Good luck, everybody. Hopefully everything goes well. Don't crash. And we will see you all next week. I am Gary Weaver. This has been the Racing Line Network, and we hope to see you next time. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, evening, or whatever time it may be for you.